Good morning, everybody. You have been with 11 Alive for our continuing coverage. Aisha Howard and Cheryl Preheim swapping out here for the team as we keep you covered here on Hurricane Helene around the clock.
All right, we know that it continues to move from the south. It has made landfall, and right now what we are waiting for is the winds really to pick up. The rains have been sustained, but that wind coming in strong will be a game changer.
Meteorologist Chris Holcomb, chief meteorologist, has been here around the clock as well, bringing us the very latest. Chris, how are we looking right now?
Things are going to start getting worse as we go through the rest of the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning. We have already been seeing these waves of moderate to heavy rain that have been pushing through our area, and that is going to continue overnight. And now the next step of intensity of this storm is going to be the winds that are really going to start kicking up here. And we're talking about wind gusts 40 to 60 miles an hour and even some higher wind gusts there on the south side. So here's a look at what we're watching. We just keep seeing, see the yellows and oranges here? That's a band that's about to move in over the city of Atlanta. That's going to push up to the north and west, just like this band did that's up in Rome now. It came through Atlanta earlier. It's up to the north now. Here's the next band coming in from the south and east. That's going to push through. We'll have a little bit of break with light rain, and then yet another band will come in. Here is where you can see that rain coming into Gwinnett County, out of Walton County, that heavier band there, in Rockdale County, South DeKalb, down into Henry County, also into areas of Clayton and Fayette County, and that's just going to push into the city. It'll be here with us for a while, and then it'll let up. The problem is we've already had a lot of rain. The ground is saturated. We're getting a lot of runoff that is collecting in low-lying, flood-prone areas, and also filling up the creeks and streams that we have here over Metro Atlanta and in North Georgia. You see more of that moderate to heavy rain down into areas to the east of us. And if you'll notice here down to the south, we're beginning to see this part of the system that is on the north end of that main area of circulation, which is the center of Helene. So you can see what we're watching right here. That landfall happened just to the west of Perry, Florida, just after 11 o'clock. And really, look how far it's come from 11 o'clock and then up here into areas of southeast Georgia there, as well inland. And we just got information in the 2 o'clock advisory. This is now a Category 1 hurricane. So it went from a Category 4, then it dropped to a 2 in South Georgia. Now it's a Category 1 hurricane. Now I want you to notice here, a lot of the projections we had from the Hurricane Center was showing this moving more like this. But we're really seeing that center of circulation taking more of a jog over to the east, and that'll be over to this direction. That'll be, excuse me, actually better news for the Metro Atlanta area. We're still going to have impacts here, but if that track keeps going a little bit more to the east, it would take more of those impacts eastward as well. Now still, areas of Gainesville, Athens, you're going to be under the gun here as that track continues to move up toward the north there. But you can see those tornado watches that are in effect. There's how it moved inland a little bit earlier. We saw it crossing over the state line a little bit earlier as well, and then moving over Valdosta where Angelina Salcedo is. We saw it over Valdosta when it was really heavy. You can look up toward Homerville and see some of that more moderate to heavy rain falling there. But now that heaviest rain is north of that, pretty much right in here, still north of Valdosta, north of Homerville. This is where we're seeing that heaviest rain now. That's going to be moving up to I-16 pretty soon, really just over to the east of Macon, and continuing to push up toward the north and a little bit north-northeast. So still watching the rain. We do have the flooding that's already out there. Then we're going to see the winds kicking up during the rest of the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow morning. That's when we're going to start seeing the trees come down, tree limbs coming down, and that's when we're going to start seeing those power outages that'll be occurring out there as well. There it is, Category 1. Winds are now down to 90 miles an hour. So we had those wind speeds at 140 miles an hour when it moved inland and when it was making landfall. Now we have 90-mile-an-hour winds, still moving very quickly north-northeast at about 26 miles an hour. And so that is a pretty fast pace here as it keeps going up toward the north. Again, this track showing it moving up toward the Atlanta area. I really think this track is going to be a little bit more over to the east, a little bit more there, not right over Atlanta, but still showing it as a tropical storm in the metro area as it continues pushing up toward the north there, but still 65-mile-an-hour winds most likely when it comes to Atlanta. And then weakening more up into Tennessee and also into Kentucky. What we're going to have to watch for the weekend, as this dies out up into areas of Kentucky, is still going to have a counterclockwise flow. Still may spread a couple of lighter rain showers over us for Saturday and Sunday, but nothing like what we're dealing with out there for right now. The latest on the tropical alerts, this is what we're watching, where that hurricane warning extends up into areas just to the south of us. Again, Jackson County not in that warning. That's a mistake from our vendor there. But you can see where we have Jasper County, Butts County, Spalding County, Pike, Lamar, Upson in that hurricane warning, and the rest of us are in the tropical storm warning, where we're going to be seeing those tropical storm force winds. I'm going to show you these winds that we have out there right now. Then I'm going to take you over to Melissa. These winds starting to pick up a little bit. These are not wind gusts. These are sustained winds. In the 1 o'clock hour, we were showing in Atlanta 9-mile-an-hour winds here, but now it's up to 18. All right, that's sustained wind, not a wind gust. These gusts are a little bit higher now, so now is the time where these winds, and you can see that flow here coming out of the south and east. That's going to continue pushing in through our area. And again, here's a look at these gusts. 26-mile-an-hour wind gusts next hour, 46 in Athens, 46-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Eatonton. Continuing on, 54-mile-an-hour wind gusts at 4:30 in the morning, 47-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Eatonton, and here in Atlanta, 25 to 39-mile-an-hour wind gusts coming up at 6:30. Marietta, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and look over in Athens, 54-mile-an-hour wind gusts that are going to be moving through there as well. And then that wind sticking with us. Again, we think that main time frame between 3 and 9 o'clock in the morning is when we'll see those wind gusts that are going to be a little higher there through those early morning hours. And still into the afternoon, we're going to watch that rain as it moves out of our area. But the winds are still going to be pretty brisk. Again, not as strong into those afternoon hours, but we're still talking 25 to 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, starting to settle down a little bit later on in the day, more like 15 to 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then Saturday, it calms down a little bit more, too.